This is fourth module of chapter 10. In the previous module, we introduced the notion of constructible real numbers and proved that the set K of all constructible real numbers is a subfield of the field of all real numbers, and hence the field of all rational numbers is contained in the field K, that is, every rational number is constructible. Besides the rational numbers, we also proved that if A is a positive constructible real number, then the square root of A is also constructible. But the major question that which are the constructible real numbers, that is characterization of all possible constructible real numbers, is still to prove. In this module, we will characterize the constructible real numbers and then prove the three famous impossibilities. Let us first recall our definition of constructible real numbers. A real number alpha is said to be constructible if we can construct a line segment of length modulus alpha in a finite number of steps starting from the unit length by using a straightedge and compass only. In practice, before getting a line segment of certain length, we must have to fix the endpoints of the line segment, and the length of the line segment is obtained from the coordinates of these endpoints by the Euclidean distance formula. Thus, to get a constructible real number, it is very important to construct the endpoints of a line segment of length modulus alpha. Thus, we see that the constructibility of a line segment is equivalent to the constructibility of a finite sequence of points. Now, using a ruler and compass, what we can do? We can draw a straight line and circle. Thus, a point in the plane that we can locate by using a compass and a straightedge can be found in either of the following three ways. The point may be the intersection of two lines, may be a point of intersection of a line and a circle, and may be a point of intersection of two circles. Notice that the third condition is actually a particular case of the condition 2, because the points of intersections of two circles are the points of intersection of one of these circles and the straight line passing through the points of intersection. Anyway, so it becomes important to ask how are the coordinates of the points on the line determined by 2 points, say A1 B1 and A2 B2, related with A1, A2, B1 and B2. Actually, I want to say, suppose we are given 2 points A1 B1 and A2 B2. So, these 2 points determine uniquely a straight line. Geometrically, which we see as a line, algebraically it has an expression as a linear equation. Is it possible to find the linear equation from these 2 points? Yes, it is always possible. So, how the coefficients of the line related with a1, b1, a2, b2, and the similar question for circles, that is, how are the coordinates of the points on the circle with center AB and radius R related with A, B and R. Here we see that the coefficients in the equation of the line and in the equation of the circles lie in the field generated by A1, B1, A2, B2 and A, B, R over Q. So, for this let us first introduce some notions. Let F be a subfield of R. We call the set PF of all points in the Euclidean plane, both of whose coordinates are in F, the plane of F. We denote by LF the set of all lines through 2 distinct points in the plane F, and by CF the set of all circles whose center is at a point in the plane of F and radius is in F. We call the members of LF lines in F and the members of CF circles in F. Now we have the result. Let F be a subfield of R, then equation of the lines in F is of the form Ax plus By plus C is equal to 0, where A, B and C are members of F, and equation of the circles in F is of the form x square plus y square plus fx plus gy plus h is equal to 0, where f, g, h all are in F. Notice that all the coefficients A, B, C are obtained from A1, B1, A2, B2 using only by addition, multiplication, subtraction and division. Since a field F is closed with respect to all these operations, so we get A, B, C in F. In case of the equation of circles, the same logic holds, and thus F, G, H belong to F. Suppose P is a point which is the intersection of 2 lines in F. Are the coordinates of P lie in F? And the similar question for the point of intersection of a line L in F and a circle C in F. In case of intersection of 2 lines, since the point of intersection is obtained by addition, subtraction, multiplication and division of the coefficients, so it is clear to us that the coordinates of the point of intersection of 2 lines in F are also in F. How about the coordinates of the point of intersection of a line and a circle in F? Now I introduce the notion of constructible points. First, I define the points which are constructible in one step from a given field F. Let F be a subfield of R. A point P is said to be constructible in one step from F if it is a point of intersection either of two lines or a line and a circle or two circles in F. Then we have the following characterization for the points constructible in one step from a subfield F. In the subsequent context, we will see that this result is a fundamental in this context. Let F be a subfield of R if P equal to AB is constructible in one step from F, then the field generated by AB over F is either F or F of square root mu for some positive element mu of F. First, assume that the point AB is constructible in one step from F. Then we have the following cases. In case 1, we assume that AB is the point of intersection of the two lines A1x plus B1y plus C1 equal to 0 and A2x plus B2y plus C2 is equal to 0, and these two lines are in F. Then, since the point of intersection of these two lines are obtained by addition, subtraction, multiplication and division of the coefficients A1, B1, C1, A2, B2, C2, which are all in F, so it follows that their point of intersection AB both are in F, and so the field generated by AB over F is equal to F. In case 2, we assume that AB is a point of intersection of the line AX plus BY plus C is equal to 0 and the circle x square plus y square plus fx plus gy plus h equal to 0 in F. First of all, note that given a line and a circle, they may not intersect, they may intersect at a point, they may intersect at two distinct points. Depending on lambda equal to 2ac plus b square f minus abg whole square minus 4 a square plus b square into c square plus b square h minus bcg less than 0, equal to 0 and greater than 0. Actually, this is the discriminant of the quadratic polynomial in one variable, say x, obtained by replacing y using the line in the equation of circle. So, since here we assume that the line and the circle intersect, so the lambda must be greater than equal to 0, and in this case the coordinates of their point of intersection are of the form r plus s root over lambda for some r and s in F, and hence the field generated by AB over F is equal to the field generated by root lambda over F. In case 3, we assume that the point AB is the point of intersection of two circles. If the circles are x square plus y square plus f1x plus g1y plus h1 equal to 0 and x square plus y square plus f2x plus g2y plus h2 equal to 0, then the equation of the line determined by the point of intersections of these two circles is f1 minus f2x plus g1 minus g2y plus h1 minus h2 is equal to 0. And thus, the point of intersection AB can also be realized as a point of intersection of the circle x square plus y square plus f1x plus g1y plus h1 is equal to 0 and the line f1 minus f2x plus g1 minus g2y plus h1 minus h2 is equal to 0, which is actually nothing but the case 2. Now, I define the constructible points. A point P is said to be constructible if there is a finite sequence of points, say P1, P2, Pn plus 1, where Pn plus 1 is equal to P and P1 is constructible in one step from Q, and for every I is equal to 0, 1 up to n, Pi plus 1 is constructible in one step from Q A1 B1, A2 B2, Ai Bi. That is, the coordinates of the point Pi plus 1 is constructible in one step from the field A1 B1, A2 B2, Ai Bi over Q. In this case, the sequence of points P1, P2, Pn, Pn plus 1 is said to be a sequence of successively constructible points. Now, we have the following obvious result. If alpha is a real number, then the following conditions are equivalent. Our first condition is real number alpha is a constructible number. Our second condition is the point alpha 0 is a constructible point. Our third condition is that the point 0 alpha is a constructible point, and our fourth condition is that the point alpha alpha is a constructible point. Notice that if alpha is a constructible number, then we have a line segment of length modulus alpha. And so, using the compass, we can cut off a line segment of length modulus alpha from x axis starting from the origin, and thus we get the point alpha 0. Similar for 0 alpha and alpha alpha. And if alpha alpha is a constructible point, then if we construct a line which is perpendicular to the x axis and passes through the point alpha alpha, then the line segment from alpha alpha to the point of intersection of this perpendicular line with x-axis is a line segment of length modulus alpha, and hence alpha becomes a constructible real number. Now we characterize the constructible points, and this equivalence will give us the constructible real numbers. Recall that a point is constructible in one step from a field F if and only if the coordinates of the point are in a quadratic extension of F. So, we can expect that a point P is constructible if we have a sequence of increasing quadratic extensions up to Fn such that the coordinates of the point are in Fn. Now we show that really this hold. To state formally, if a point alpha beta is constructible, then there is a finite sequence q equal to f0 contained in f1, contained in so on, contained in fn of subfields of R such that the coordinates alpha beta are in fn, and every fj is a quadratic extension of fj minus 1 for all 1 less than equal to j less than equal to n. Since alpha beta is a constructible point, so there is a sequence of successively constructible points P1, P2 up to Pm such that Pm is equal to alpha beta. Here we use induction on M to prove that there is a finite increasing sequence Q equal to F0 contained in F1, contained in up to contained in Fn of subfields of R such that each Fj is a quadratic extension of Fj minus 1, and the coordinates of P1, P2 up to Pi lie in Fi. If m is equal to 1, then P1 equal to alpha beta is constructible in one step from Q. Hence, either alpha beta are in Q or alpha beta are in Q root lambda for some positive lambda in Q, and the result follows. Let there be a sequence of successively constructible points P1, P2 up to Pm plus 1 equal to alpha beta and denote Pi equal to Ai Bi, then we can say that alpha beta is constructible in one step from Q A1, B1, A2, B2 up to Am, Bm. By induction hypothesis, there is a finite increasing sequence Q equal to F0 subset of F1 subset of up to Fn of subfields of R such that each Fj is quadratic over Fj minus 1 and A1, B1, A2, B2 up to Am, Bm are all in Fn. Then the field generated by A1 B1 up to AM Bm over Q becomes a subset of Fn, and this implies that the point alpha beta can also be constructed in one step from Fn. Hence, either alpha beta are members of Fn or alpha beta belongs to Fn root lambda for some lambda in Fn. So, if alpha beta are in Fn, then we have done. If alpha beta belongs to Fn root lambda, denote Fn plus 1 equal to Fn root lambda, and the result follows. As a corollary, we have the following necessary and sufficient condition for constructibility of a real number. A real number alpha is constructible if and only if there is a finite sequence q equal to f0 contained in f1, which is again contained in and so on contained in fn of subfields of R such that alpha belongs to Fn and each Fj is equal to Fj minus 1 root over lambda, where lambda is a positive real number in Fj minus 1. First, assume that alpha is a constructible real number. Then the point alpha 0 is a constructible point, and the result follows directly from the previous theorem. For the converse, suppose there is a finite sequence of subfields of R such that alpha belongs to Fn and each Fj is equal to Fj minus 1 square root of lambda j, where lambda j is a positive real number in Fj minus 1. Since lambda 1 is in Q and every rational number is a constructible real number, so lambda 1 is a constructible real number. So, root over lambda 1 is also constructible. If we denote the field of all constructible real numbers by k, since root over lambda 1 belongs to k and q is a subset of k, it follows that q of root over lambda 1, that is the field generated by square root of lambda 1 over q, becomes a subset of k. Equivalently, f1 becomes a subset of k, that is every member of f1 becomes constructible. Thus, the result holds for n equal to 1. By the induction hypothesis, Fn minus 1 is a subset of k, and then lambda n belongs to Fn minus 1 becomes a constructible real number, which implies that square root of lambda n minus 1 is also constructible, that is square root of lambda n minus 1 is a member of k, and it follows that the field generated by square root of lambda n minus 1 over Fn minus 1, that is the field Fn, becomes a subset of k, that is every element of Fn becomes constructible, and so since alpha is a member of Fn, alpha becomes a constructible real number. Now we show that if alpha is a constructible real number, then the degree of the extension of the field q alpha over q is a non-negative integral power of 2, that is this degree of extension is 2 to the power m for some positive integer m greater than 0. Actually, this follows from the fact that Every subfield in this sequence is a quadratic extension of fj minus 1. So, by the tower rule, the degree of the extension of fn over q will be a power of 2, and again by the tower rule it follows that the degree of the extension q alpha over q is a factor of the degree of the extension fn over q. That is, the degree of the extension q alpha over q becomes a power of 2. We will use this result to prove three famous impossibilities. First, let me show that cube root of 2 is a real number which is not constructible. Recall that square root of 2 is constructible, but here we show that cube root of 2 is not constructible, because the minimal polynomial of cube root of 2 is x cube minus 2, which is of degree 3. Hence, the degree of the extension of cube root of 2 over q is 3. Since 3 cannot be expressed as an integral power of 2, it follows that cube root of 2 is not constructible. This is the first among the three famous impossibilities. Here we show that it is impossible to construct a square equal in area to the circle of radius 1. On the contrary, if possible, assume that it can be done, and let A be the side of the square whose area is pi equal to the area of the circle of radius 1. Then A being a constructible number, qa over q is equal to 2 to the power m, which implies that A becomes algebraic, and hence A square is algebraic, that is pi becomes algebraic over q, but this is not so. This contradiction shows that such a square is impossible to construct. Now, this is the second problem of the three famous impossibilities. Here we show that it is impossible to construct a cube with a volume equal to twice the volume of a given cube. Suppose we are given a cube with each side 1, and we assume that it is possible to construct a cube of double volume. That is, it is possible to construct a cube whose volume is 2. So, if A is the side of this cube, then we have A cube is equal to 2, that is A becomes 2, which we have seen is not constructible, and thus the result follows. Now, this is the third famous impossibilities. Here we show that there is an angle which cannot be trisected. Here we show that the angle pi by 3 cannot be trisected using only a straightedge and a compass. Otherwise, pi by 9 will be constructible, and hence cos pi by 9 will be constructible. Denote cos pi by 9 by A. Then from the trigonometrical identity cos 3 theta is equal to 4 cos cube theta minus cos theta, we get A cube minus 3 by 4a minus 1 by 8 is equal to 0, which shows that the degree of the extension of qa over q is equal to 3, which is not a power of 2, and hence cos pi by 9 is not constructible. Thus, it follows that the angle pi by 3 cannot be trisected. Thus, you see that though these three problems are geometric in nature, here we have proved using algebra, and particularly theory of equations via field extensions. Now, I have a question to you. Can you explain why the result is related with 2 to the power m, where the speciality of 2 lies? I give you a hint only. Maybe it is due to Pythagoras theorem. Please try to find out the proper answer.